This is Ben from Goatwhore, and you're watching The Age of Metal.
Hey everyone, this is Stephanie Jetson here with The Age of Metal. We're here tonight in Tampa, Florida at the Orpheum with Ben from Goatwhore. So how are you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Awesome. So just talk about the tour you're on right now.
Okay. What you want to talk about?
I mean, what?
All right, well let's start from the beginning, just so we will cover the terrain. So we started March 27th in Texas with the Casualties and Havoc. So we did 2 weeks with the Casualties and Havoc, going west and up the west coast, and then we crossed over into Canada and we jumped on with us and 3 Inches of Blood, and then we've been doing the last, we're at like what, 4 weeks, maybe a little over 4 weeks with 3 Inches of Blood. And during the route of the tour we crossed across all of Canada, all the way from the west all the way to the east, and we did sorted spots through the states, and now we're kind of heading down into the southern region. We're doing 5 dates in Florida right now, and then head into Louisiana and finish up at home, and then 3 Inches of Blood does dates to kind of get home from there back to Vancouver. But and during the 3 Inches of Blood tour, we've been having like assorted bands kind of switch out as support bands. Like we've had Ramming Speed and Revocation. We have Withered that's on now, and Abiotic that just jumped on today, and we had Orchid's Curse that was up in Canada, and then assorted bands in Canada that kind of played here and there. So, you know, we had a little mixture of things as it went along. But everything's been going really well. And actually, we're finally getting into, I guess, the hot part of the tour. Yes. We've had a pretty cool, like, the spring has kind of been pushed back a little bit this year in some sort of weird way, but we didn't really feel it until we got to like Atlanta yesterday. And so we've been pretty much graced with pretty cool weather.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, Florida is definitely the hot area of the country.
Yeah, definitely. But no big deal. I mean, we're from Louisiana, so we pretty much deal with the extreme heat too. So, but yeah, it was. I mean, you know, everybody tours in vans and trailers, so the heat can kind of take its toll after a while.
So you guys have toured with 3 Inches of Blood before. What is he like? What do you like about touring with them?
For one, they're a fucking amazing metal band. I mean, just everything about them, how they do things, and the song structures they have, the way Cam sings, and just all around as a band, they're top notch at what they do. You know, I think a lot of people kind of put them off as, you know, oh, they sound so much like that older metal and everything, but that's the whole idea. You know, we're kind of, a lot of bands now kind of like reinventing the idea and bringing their own scheme into things, you know, and they're really great guys, man. We, you know, this is the 3rd time we've toured with them. The first time we toured across Canada with them, then we toured in Europe with them, and now we're doing this with them, and it's just, we have a, you know, we get together really well. We work out well, and we, you know, even though we both play a form of metal, it works with each other, you know. So nice. You know, the version of metal that we kind of do, and then the version of metal they do, it blends really well, you know. And you know, within, you know, metal shows, you really see the difference in the scene of how, even though to me it's all metal, there's still variations and different kind of ideas of how people perceive it. So, but all the shows have been really good. Really strong turnouts, even in like beginning parts of the weeks, like on Mondays and Tuesdays, you know. So it's been really good.
So you guys have pretty much toured just about everywhere, and I've seen in past interviews that you guys do a lot of drinking and partying. Do you have any favorite places in particular you like to drink or you like to party, or any certain crazy stories or anything?
It's just kind of hit or miss as you go along, you know. Sometimes you come across places. Sometimes you play a place and you'd never played it before, and there's something unique about that place, and they, you know. So it all depends as you tour. And yeah, there's places, you know, like places in Texas we've been before, and we kind of know it, and because it's so close, we've been there so much, we have, you know, friends and stuff like that there, and you know, it's a agenda. I mean, our main point is when we do the show, we do the show, and then after we do the show, whatever, you know, afterwards, you know. But the idea is doing the main thing first, and then after that, all the fun will explode, I guess, per se.
So you guys have had a lot of hardships on the tour. What is it that makes you continue to tour?
You know, I think it's just like the love of the music and everything. I mean, it is a tough regimen. You know, there's a lot of people you come across that don't really understand you know, this scheme of these bands touring in vans and trailers and, you know, roughing it out like this. And some people are just like, there's no fucking way I'd ever put myself through that. But I mean, you know, that's what keeps this alive. Right. It's individuals that do have a heart in it, and they want to do it, and they, you know, they want to do something different, maybe do some other style that kind of transitions and changes the scene in some sort of way, or, you know, whatever it might be. But there's some kind of like, so I guess maybe something in your heart or something in your interest in doing this, you know. So some dudes just want to go out and get drunk and other weird fucking debauchery, and some dudes just want to go out and play because that's what they wanted to do. So you have a mixture of all the variations there.
Have you always known this is what you've wanted to do?
Well, you know, when I was young, I used to do stupid shit like stand on the bed and jam out like Priest and AC/DC and whatever other metal I was listening to, and play like I was on the fucking stage, and I just thought it was fun. And I got in a band, and you know, it was like death metal kind of Cookie Monster band, and you know, I enjoyed that. And I got on the road, and I really enjoyed the whole road thing. I mean, you have your conflictions. You have whatever, 5 to 6 people in a van, and you know, people's personalities shift, you know, especially when alcohol is involved. But overall, you know, you start, you know, you learn things, you know, you learn things about, and then some members come across and they're like, this isn't what I really wanted to do in life. This is not what I perceived it as. So I think some people have an idea, and it doesn't always fall out that way.
Right.
And then sometimes some people get tied up in like the debauchery of being on the road, and then it takes a toll on them too. So they can't, you know, they have to kind of get out of the element. But yeah, I mean, I just always dug it, you know. I dig playing live and everything. I mean, when I get up there, whether it's 30 minutes or 55 minutes, it's like I have a good time. And it's like it's just something fun. And then if we're playing and people are getting into it, it's even more impactful, you know. It's like everybody's just like, it's that moment, just everybody let go. Everything, your fucking bullshit troubles for the day, whatever, had a bad day at work or whatever's going on, you came to the show to enjoy yourself and just have a good time. And that's what it is. I'm not there to judge you and put you in a spot. I'm just playing the rock, and I want you to fucking have a beer in hand, fucking horns, banging the head maybe, or water, whatever the fuck your thing is, you know, just having a good time.
Of course. Are you working on any new material right now?
Yeah, we've kind of started on some new material. So before we left for this tour, we actually, we had done South by Southwest in Austin, and then we had like a week and a half before we left for the tour, and so we started throwing around ideas and doing some new stuff. So we have 2 songs that are pretty much kind of solid, maybe just a few little things you need to kind of nitpick through them, but yeah, everything's kind of in motion now. So.
All right. So you've been playing music for a while now. Have your music influences changed over the years?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's musical influences change over the years. You know, you look at all the bands that come out constantly, you know, and you come across things, and maybe they're not like directly influenced, but somewhere subconsciously, just because you're listening to all these different things, they kind of play a role. And even within the band, we've had member changes and stuff like that. When you get a new member in, and then their influences, it kind of bleeds off on each member too. So everybody in turn kind of influences each other in that sense. So as time goes along, you know, you get different things you listen to, and you know, like like when we were doing Blood for the Master, we kind of went reverse, and we went back to a lot of older stuff that we were into. That a lot of the older stuff you kind of pushed back a little bit because you were listening to the newer things and checking out newer bands and stuff, and you're just like, wait a minute, what about the shit, you know, when I first started? And so sometimes you go back to that and kind of like, I guess, reinventing it in a sort of fashion, you know, and it becomes like an influence in that fashion.
So I've read that Satanism is a theme in your lyrics. What is so compelling about Satanism?
It's, okay, I don't want, like, there's certain members in the band that are like into Satanism. There's definitely no members in the band that are into any kind of like religious structure, like you know, like Christianity, Catholicism, Muslim, or anything like that. There's a couple members that are into Satanism, and you know, they go after it. For me personally, I am into, like, the dark arts have always interested me. I've always read about things and stuff like that. But I go in and like when I was younger growing up, I grew up like as Protestant. And I went to like the Bible class and stuff. But I think all that helps because it all paints the picture of everything you want to dig through and either make fun of it in some sort of way or pull the negatives out of it and stuff like that. And so I go through and I go through it and things and do things kind of like tongue-in-cheek in a sense. within the lyrics based on ideas like that. And then I'll get some play from, you know, the more satanic angle and stuff like that from other members and kind of incorporate that into. And like with the newer record, Blood for the Master, I was really intrigued by there's like cults that are into death as the higher power. Like in South America, there's Santa Muerte, which is Saint Death, and they worship it, you know, in that fashion that it's the highest entity. Because I mean, death has the power to reap gods, in a sense. So, and then there's like other ones, as I dug into it, there's other cults and occult variated things that are into death in more of, I guess, like there's leftist and rightist ways, you know. So I guess there's more too there that are into like the more satanic angle of death or whatever, or like the left-hand path of death. So it was really cool, and so I started getting interested in that and kind of incorporated it into it more. Really, if anything, for me, it's more in a literary sense.
Right.
You know, I'm really into reading about the things and stuff like that. I mean, I don't sit at home and burn candles and summon fucking hell forth, you know.
Right.
And I have a really bad taste for religion because of history. I mean, when you learn so much about history too, and you've seen everything, like all the wars and everything that's happened through time has mostly been at fault because of religions not liking other religions, and it's so ridiculous. Right. It's fucking stupid. And now that it's like 2013, I'm still perplexed that mankind has never took the fucking jump and said, let's lose this shit because we need to move advance in the fucking brain and step forward and do things proper. But you know, there it goes. Shows you that man hasn't made that progression yet.
Right. You talked about how you're interested in like dark literature and everything. Are you interested in mythology as well as the occult?
There's different little things here and there, so I'll intertwine them and stuff like that. So there's some mythology that I read about and everything. You know, it's funny. Like mythology is like, you know, it's like what, like a failed religious idea in a sense, you know. But there's so much, even like the Norse mythology is so unique in its ways, you know. But it's funny how people like say, oh well, that's mythology. So it's just ridiculous. They got so many unique ideas in all these different cultures and things like that. I just don't think people need to like war over it. It's kind of fucking ridiculous. It's like, it's a belief, it's an idea, it's a personal thing. So yeah, if you believe in something, then cool, keep it to yourself. There's no reason to force people in that. If somebody wants assistance on something or some kind of crutch, then let them come into the temple, the church, or whatever it needs to be, and let them become part of the situation if they feel they need the crutch. But to me, it's just like, mankind is just like on its own. You know, we're such powerful beings. It's like, stop being fucking retarded and step up to the plate.
Do you have anything to say to the fans?
Stop stealing music. No, I'm just playing. Because everybody talks about that. They always complain. I make fun of it because I'm just like, I tell people at the shows, just, you know, if you don't know the song, go get it off the internet and take it. I mean, I want you to come to the show and know the stuff, you know. I mean, of course, I don't promote you just stealing fucking music. If you really dig a band, and not even us, then go ahead and buy the record via whatever, some music store online, or the CD at the show or anything like that. But overall, I want you to be familiar with the music. I want you to show up and know the tempo, know what's going on, you know what's happening, and just have a good time. You know, I'm not gonna be standing on a little soapbox like some of these bands, and they're like, you're just taking all this money out of my pocket. It's just like, whatever, man. There's so many bands out there. There's so much shit going on. The internet is like, can't be policed fucking properly. So, you know, whatever.
Exactly. Well, thank you for watching this Goatwhore interview with the Age of Metal. So definitely keep up to date on what they have going on and stay metal.
Do it.